All right. Welcome, everybody. We've got people starting to join the call. So definitely give a couple seconds for that as people start to trickle in. Hopefully, there'll be a good amount of people on the call. We are awaiting a couple of our special guests to join the call. So we're going to get started here shortly. But either way, welcome to all of you. This is the call to announce the TWC IGP Helper Program. It's something that a lot of people have wanted for a very long time, and we are very excited to share it with you guys. So let me just jump in real quick and share some stuff about TWC. I know a lot of you guys in the audience are people that have been on our community for a very long time, but because we do have some special guests that are going to be on the call today, there are people here who may not necessarily know what TWC is or what we do. So, okay. So, like I said, everybody, welcome to the Training Without Conflict IGP Helper Program announcement call. We're happy to have you here today. Wanted to share a little bit about what is Training Without Conflict. So, Training Without Conflict is a community of dog trainers that utilize the concepts created by two-time IGP world champion Ivan Balabanov. The TWC methodology is rooted in the science of animal learning and evolutionary psychology to create unbelievable training results. TWC trainers operate with the belief that dogs are our fellow creature and not opportunistic animals that are transacting for rewards. With TWC, we believe that dogs are our best friends. This is commonly stated with people all over the world, but it's rarely practiced. With TWC, it's the absolute foundation of how we interact with dogs. We believe that they are friends. We believe that they are part of our lives, family, however you want to make a close relationship. And this is the way that we approach all of our interactions with them. With TWC, we prioritize play as the most powerful motivator in training. When all basic needs are met, all animals will choose play. That's something that Ivan says across all of our videos. It's at our core, the most foundational thing that separates TWC from all other things, all other training concepts out there in the world. So, how you may know TWC. So a lot of you guys have experienced our training videos. So like chase and catch, possession games, teaching the out command, those types of training videos. Some of you guys have had the opportunity to attend our workshops. And some of you guys may know us through our certification program. So everybody who knows us through these different things, they've kind of grown accustomed to what TWC does, how we provide training lessons, how we provide dog training concepts and stuff like that. Today, everything changes. Today, we're going to be announcing the IGP Helper Program. So what you guys are going to learn today is why the Training Without Conflict IGP Helper Program was created, what the Training Without Conflict IGP Helper Program aims to accomplish, who are the instructors of the program, and how the Training Without Conflict IGP Helper Program can supercharge your knowledge and skills as an IGP helper. So, to answer the question, what? The Training Without Conflict Helper Program aims to improve the sport of IGP by starting at the foundational level. Why? Simply put, the sport of IGP needs more IGP helpers. To be completely clear, the sport needs more skilled helpers. By improving helpers, the training will get better, IGP clubs will get better, the competition will get better, and most importantly, we believe the dogs will get better. So now that we know the purpose behind the program, I want to introduce you guys to your instructors for the TWC IGP Helper Program. So, TWC, obviously, we're going to have Ivan Balabanov. We're going to discuss a little bit more about Ivan's accomplishments and stuff like that as we go further in the call. But he is going to be a instructor for this program. Yanni Baum, he is also going to be one of the instructors for this program. He's also going to be joining us on the call today. And Enrico Schwaderer, who is an up-and-coming helper. He's not necessarily known by a ton of people, but he is Ivan's most trusted prep helper for all competitions at the moment. So that should tell you guys what his impact is on the training field. So since Yanni's on the call, Yanni, do you want to jump on here?
What's up?
There we go.
Seriously, very big amateur with the Zoom call.
All right, guys. So now that we have Yanni on the call, I can go ahead. So Yanni, all I basically did as we kind of introduced the call is I just introduced what training without conflict is. And I just introduced that there is now an existence of an IGP helper program that we're going to be offering. And I did share that the instructors for the program are going to be you, Ivan, and Enrico. But before we go any deeper on what the program is and what the program has, I don't want to go too far into who you are as a helper or what you've accomplished or anything like that. I think all that stuff speaks for itself, or it's something that we can cover on a different call. What I do want to talk about is this program was basically put together from a 5-day workshop that we did live and in person. So just overall, can you tell me a little bit about what your feelings, what your emotions were about the whole experience over those 5 days from a helper's perspective?
Yeah, very cool. Thank you. I was thinking about that whole day, what to say about it. First of all, in my opinion, it's probably the biggest one ever happened. There haven't been ever anything better in all the ways, because it was not only for USA people. That's good to say on the beginning. There was a lot of Europeans, which saying already enough. I would believe it was 60-40, even 50-50 Europeans and USA guys. 5 days, absolutely, I mean, extremely much practicing, which is the most valuable I see nowadays in my academy with my helpers. That in online and all the trainings you can learn so much, but you need to see the practicing. The practicing is recorded for two different guys where they're 24/7. So I do remember this was my very good impression. I was watching it and I said, man, they are just standing here 24/7 and recording almost fucking everything. As a theory part, as the questions, as the practicing. Another good point is that we have been rotating the groups. So every day we work almost all of the helpers, which is another very good plus. It means I have been doing one group in the same time Ivan was doing another group, and Enrico was doing the third group. Then we just rotating and changing them. So in one hand, you will see there 15 or whatever more helpers working with different sort of dogs. We had there so many dogs. There's another plus. Perfect. We had so many different characters, so many different issues. So this kind of program for you guys is not about only, the sort of escapes and long attacks technique. There is a lot of issues in the philosophy, how the dog, for example, don't want to bark, or the dog is not absolutely able to hold a pillow. Meanwhile, the helper is passive, or for example, the dog is there so bad with the prey at all. Technique for the helpers is there, but also a lot of solution of the characters of the dogs, which is for me the most valuable. So when I will be beginner or even like advanced helper, I will definitely take it because there is fucking everything.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was one of the most like expansive intense experiences just because there was and this is something that I knew during the workshop because I was filming, but because I'm filming, I'm concentrating on so many things with filming and making sure we have the picture and the sound and all that stuff that I'm not necessarily concerned with what's happening in the workshop. But what's very interesting is that the workshop is not just like you said learning about escapes, learning about how to sleeve presentation or those things. It's literally like it's basically it's almost calling it an IGP helper workshop program is bringing it down to a lower level because it's actually an understanding of all protection in IGP because you get to understand from the perspective of the helper, from the perspective of the dog, and from the perspective of the handler. And all of those things get covered all at once and get discussed with the group, get discussed with the question and answer, with the lectures, with all those things. And I just thought that that was like, I mean, it's just something that doesn't really happen. And it was just a very cool experience. I don't know if you agree with that.
I do agree 100%. As I said, it's like, in my opinion, the biggest one ever happened, like in all the perspective on the the number, how many practicing, how many just informations we share per day, and how many good things bring the other guys. I mean, after this camp, I was very tired. It took me a couple of days to get back.
Yeah, so Ivan actually just messaged me and he said that he is able to jump on the call. He's actually traveling right now. I don't know if you guys saw his Instagram post. He's on a road trip doing some tracking, getting ready for FCI. But Ivan, if you want to jump on real quick and maybe share your thoughts about what you felt like the actual workshop itself when we had it, what that felt like for you.
All right, here we are. What's up? It's good to see you, Yanni. Man, people, I don't know even what to say. Yeah, we are on the road. We're driving. We have to go to some tracking, getting ready for FCI. But staying on track here, like I was just very cool to listen to Yanni and got me just right back excited about the whole thing. And I will tell you, like we very genuinely got excited. We were when we decided to do this, it was cool to do. We knew that it's going to be interesting for everybody. I don't think any of us, meaning the instructors in the class, like me, Yanni, and Enrico, were expecting that to get that excited about it. Point of even halfway, I remember we were not even done. We were halfway through it, and we just kind of, as tired as we were, we just looked at each other and we're like, this is not going to end here. We're going to have to figure what we're going to do next because this is absolutely amazing in so many different ways. So we had no clear idea where we want to go with it, but we knew that this was exciting. And what is super interesting for us as well is because we bring very different takes to the table sometimes. Sometimes we can contradict each other, and then you get to see how all of us have a different take and they all have time and place for them. So one of the, in my opinion, the coolest thing probably of what we did was giving you a wide range of options and ideas and how to think about protection, where to start, what's important, how not to screw it up, but also how to change, how to repair the mistakes that has happened, because as you know, that's inevitable especially when you don't have the guidance and experience. So yeah, I am super excited that we were able to make this, and it took quite some time to produce it. We all were messaging each other. It's like, hey, is it ready yet? Is it like we actually were dying to see, because as Yanni was saying, we only got to talk about what we were doing, but I wanted to be in Yanni's group. I wanted to be in Enrico's group, and these are really cool times. So yeah, I really think this is going to be a very interesting, and there's going to be takeaways for everybody. I mean, being a beginner, being an advanced, like national world level helper, if you want. I promise you that there will be some very interesting takeaways for any level of helper, and as well as dog training, for the sake of dog training, because as we all know, helper work is not just about dogs biting. It's about how we control the dogs and without breaking them, and how we deal with their emotion and chemicals in the brain and all that challenging, like, oh, I want to do this, but well, you have to, but there is also the compliance element and so on. So yeah, let me shut up for a moment here, and let Eric go on.
Yep. Yeah, I think just to kind of give everyone an understanding of what Ivan and Yanni are kind of talking about, the workshop itself, I mean, there's a lot of people actually here on the call who were there in person, which is very, very cool to see you guys, and we're happy to see you guys. The workshop consisted of 5 days of not just lecture, not just dog training, not like, it was literally it was like a 1 week dream package with world champion helpers, competitors, all of it. The workshop had lectures to begin with, and then you would watch Yanni or Ivan train dogs and do helper work with dogs, and then they broke up into separate groups. We had 16 helpers who had working spots, and they each worked with Ivan, with Yanni, and with Enrico on a day-to-day basis. The group separated out, and what Ivan's kind of talking about is, because Ivan's teaching his group, he's not really able to walk over and see what Yanni's teaching or go see what Enrico's teaching. So this video is going to give them an opportunity to see what the other person was teaching, and it's actually like, this is going to be just as cool of an experience, honestly, for them, because they get to see what all the groups were doing, not just their group, because they're obviously aware of what they were doing, but they don't necessarily know what the other groups are doing. So it's going to be a very cool experience to for them to watch it, but also for you guys, because you guys get all three perspectives. And then on top of that, one of the coolest things, and something that really just doesn't exist out there, is there are 2 full sessions of Ivan, Natalia, and Yanni doing competition prep with their dogs, like world championship level. Natalia at the time was prepping for FMBB. Yanni has just, he's been a helper for many world championships. He's been vice world champion twice. Ivan's been world champion twice and national champion, who even knows at this point. The accomplishments that are on the field just for a very short period of time, it's something that you don't really understand the magnitude of when you're on the field, but it's super cool to watch. And what's very cool for you guys is it's all documented, it's all on video, and you guys are going to be able to see those sessions as well. So it's not just watching, struggling dogs or learning dogs or dogs at the beginning stages. It's not just finished dogs that are just going to be showing you the greatest hits of dog training. It's going to be puppies. It's going to be old dogs. It's going to be dogs that are struggling with grips. There's going to be dogs that, anything under the sun. There's different breeds. There's Rottweilers, there's Dutchies, there's German Shepherds, there's Malinois, there's all across the board. And this is something that's super, super cool that I know doesn't exist in the dog training world up to this point, and we are super, super happy to be to be sharing it with you guys. I just see that Enrico did jump on the call. So, Enrico, do you want to jump on real quick and maybe just talk about what your experience was like during um, the workshop itself?
Yeah, it's nice to be here. First of all, I want to say sorry. I'm living in super modern Germany where from one to the other second, the whole village doesn't have any Wi-Fi. So I'm sorry for that. Um, but overall, for me, it was just like the workshop was like 5 days of kind of everything. It was so much new. Also for me, it was the first first big workshop with a lot of people. So also for me, it was a new experience, and it's a lot to talk about. Me and Ivan, of course, talked a lot about it afterwards, but I think what's super super cool, what you mentioned before, is that you guys have like a video of all these informations, what like all three of us talked about. And so I think it's a great opportunity for everybody to learn from and see what we three told you. And that's kind of it, what I want to say first.
Yeah, I completely agree with it. One of the questions that I kind of had for Yanni, and something that would be interesting. So, kind of, if Yanni, if you were to remove yourself from like where you're at today as a helper and kind of go back to the first days of when you were starting to learn helper work and when you were aspiring to be, a world class helper, if you were to go back to those beginning stages, what would you like? What is the value you would put on being able to have access to something like this at like day one or early on in your career?
Wow. So I do remember like yesterday those questions which one I had as a little kid, just being 14 in that time. And my question was very simply like, for example, one of them was why the dog is like why the dog is just letting it go when they telling him outing. Why does he let it go? That was like a simple question. There was a helper. He couldn't even answer. He was just because we told him do it. And then another question. I was very impressing of helper were already there. I was asking how do you do a stick movement, for example, this kind of specific movement. There was nobody able even, they just answer, we just do it. That's it, just like that. And so every simple day when I teach somebody or I just watch by myself and I teach myself, I learn something. I'm very, very happy to live in this modern time and modern age because that kind of opportunity, I know it sounds strange, I'm only 35, but when I was on the beginning, there was not this opportunity. I wish so, so much to have at least one trainer in that time. And maybe there was, but I'm from village, man. I understand Enrico with the Wi-Fi very much. So for me, it's like a gold time and the biggest opportunity for all trainers for sort of different corners of IGP or Mondi or whatever that you guys can learn today online. And the most valued thing on it which one I'm very, very jealous because I'm like, I'm exciting by myself. I'm so exciting to see. I hope I will have enough time and opportunity to watch by myself that because I'm very curious. I haven't seen Enrico working and Ivan at all. I was always like a little bit checking the corner, like what they are doing. And we didn't even have a time to talk about it. So it was always like exactly Ivan said. We sit in the evening, half brain just done. The half second brain was just laughing and saying, "Wow, what's going on?" And then day by day was suddenly, and it was suddenly over. So I'm curious by myself. But as to get back to the topic, like the most valuable and jealous thing for me is that you can guys probably much earlier, much sooner, much quicker get to another level than we were in the past because like it takes so much more long time when you have to figure it out always just by yourself. This is a guardians, this is the mentors which one will go with you through the pure reality. So that's more or less everything.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. It's, I'm not necessarily a aspiring helper. I, will jump in and take an escape bite if I need to, but I'm not necessarily trying to be a helper. But just the amount of information that you get to get in such a condensed package, and something that like would take Ivan 40 plus years to learn, you 20 plus years to learn. Enrico, I think Enrico's like 18 years old right now, so maybe 5 years. I don't know.
But Enrico
But
has, sorry to interrupt, but man, Enrico, like he has behind him so much knowledge from the club, his dad, Marcos, like it's insane where he comes from, I'm sure me and Yanni are a little jealous of that too.
yeah, I mean, I joke about it, but I mean, something very, very cool and something that you guys may not know if you don't know who Enrico is, but he's young, but he's got so much time and experience under the watchful eye of people who have been in the sport for a lifetime. If you guys know who Marcus Neutz is, he's somebody who has been guiding Enrico for an extremely long time. His dad has been in the sport. His family's in the sport. They work with German Shepherds and have been breeding German Shepherds. He's literally grew up in the sport, so he's got just as much knowledge as many other people. So it's a very, very cool thing to have him. But Ivan, I guess I'll ask you the same question. I mean, if you were to have this amount of information readily available to you, like how much progress do you think you would have been able to make in a much quicker time?
Yeah, so I guess like if I'm to answer this, the essence of it is I would have so many questions answered. Kind of like what Yanni said, like why is he outing? Why is he barking like this? Like there's back when I was learning that you had questions, but you could only see some very old VHS tape that, I don't know, but it's working a dog and it's not necessarily even explained what's going on. And we have moved from there to such a crazy times right now, which is also a little bit dangerous, I would say, because there is the good and the bad of social media, because you can see helpers doing amazing things, but if you try this at home, you end up ruining dogs. And so it's amazing to have opportunity to get just your own questions answered, and for such a long workshop that we did with such a variety of dogs that we had, with the different things all of us brought to the table, I'm guessing that you will have no questions unanswered,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, it was just such a crazy experience, I think, across the board, and I think that people will be able to see that across the board, not just because, again, you're going to see people doing helper work. I think one of the coolest things that happened at the workshop, and I'll let Yanni kind of talk about this because I think something very cool happened after the workshop. Um, During the workshop, we had a lot of people there that are not necessarily, young, 20 to 35-year-old guys who are looking to be the next world championship level helper. We had young women, we had young men, we had older men, we had older women, we had people in their 60s. We had, I mean, maybe there's people in their 70s, but all the women who were there looked so young. I would never think that they were 70. But what's very cool is that they actually, even after the workshop, traveled to see Yanni in the Czech Republic to learn more. And this is something that's like so special, I think, about a program like this is it's not just for, like I said, a young, stout young man. It's for everybody. It's for old, young, women, man, all of it. And Yanni, if you just kind of want to talk about kind of the impact of kind of had on you.
I just want to say that this is the cool thing. Imagine, like I always say, USA guys going for FMBB, FCI, and just go over the ocean, 2, 3 fucking flights, booking everything. So many money, so much money, so much time. I admire them all my life. The competition life. As soon as I saw that the American flag is coming to Europe, I was just saying, oh man, this is fantastic. Imagine and just ask yourself, would you go to fucking Washington tomorrow, fly and go for competition there? Just ask yourself, think about it 1 second. If you really go, like I would say, oh, of course I will go. I will go 100%. But those people, I was not believing it even yesterday. It's just cool. What? 3, 4 weeks. We had the camp in the Czech Republic. I would say something like a mini version of the camp with Ivan, and there was, I don't remember if 3 or 4, even 5 people from USA. Well, it's crazy when they just enroll and they just sign in. I was watching it. I said, "Really? Who is that?" And then I saw United States. I said, "Seriously? Wow!" And I don't. I mean, I don't. I never care if it is like a 20 years old young guy or the girl or like a old lady around, like whatever age. I'm not. I do not dare. They are guessing the age as Eric. I'm not that self-confident. He is messed up with the age almost every time. So I would leave this topic about him. But for me, it was crazy that those people came and just like day by day, jumping here, time different and everything. And we did so many good stuff with them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought that was super cool because obviously, like, I had no idea what you were doing for your workshop. So when I saw that those people were over there, I was like, man, that's a commitment. That is crazy, crazy commitment to just fly, halfway across the world to learn helper work. And, it's not because they want to be the next helper at a FMBB or whatever. They're just trying to learn for their own dogs and their own personal training.
Exactly.
Cool. And Enrico, I'll ask you too, just kind of what your experience was like being able to teach, people from across the board that were, young, old, women, men, all those things.
Yeah, it was a completely, like for me, completely new experience, and it's kind of sometimes difficult because I'm always thinking like who am I to like teach all these guys or have the opportunity to teach them and tell them like what do I know and how can I help you? And for me, it's also like it was funny because two guys there were from Germany, so I was talking with them and was like, "How did you get here?" And so it's super cool how this dog sport is connecting people, and how we, like, all of us doing the same, but everybody got a like different views. So it's super cool, and like I said, it's a new experience for me, and but super cool.
Yeah. I think that that seeing the level of people who were there and not just seeing somebody who's like trying to get, to the next level of being a national helper or any of those things was a very, very cool experience, and actually creates more learning opportunities. Ivan, I wanted to kind of have you chime in on this, because a lot of the TWC audience come from a pet training background, and they're not necessarily interested in being, a high level IGP competitor or a IGP helper or anything like that. But for me, not just at this workshop, a previous helper workshop that we did, I felt like the amount of knowledge that you can get watching protection training on how to work with difficult dogs is super impactful. So I don't know if you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people are on the call that are also, doing pet dogs training or any kind of, but what is always very grabbing, very intriguing for someone that is very passionate about dog training, the protection aspect of it is immediately grabs your attention, and immediately the question starts to come. But also you start to reflect and make associations of how that type of work can benefit your overall knowledge as a trainer. And to put it in a nutshell, one of the most interesting and at the same time difficult things is to have a dog that is in this highly aroused, dominant state, with some elements of aggression and this fight drive, and at the same time finding a way how to cooperate with the trainer, not how to just suppress the dog and make him comply, but how to cooperate without diminishing his qualities or her qualities. And when there is always a certain level of struggle to accomplish this, but that transfers directly, this kind of skills and knowledge transfer directly into any kind of dog training where you have these challenges of a dog that really has this one track mind, and we have to convince them to still cooperate with us. It's in my opinion, that's one of the most interesting aspects of protection work that translates into any kind of dog training.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think I just want to make sure that we discuss that, because it is something that comes up with people where they're not totally sure that they have any reason or any type of purpose behind learning helper work or anything like that, but it actually transfers over so well into the pet training aspect of dog training. So we've kind of heard a little bit about what the workshop was with Yanni, Enrico, and Ivan. I know you guys are here. I don't want to take up a crazy amount of your time, but let me go ahead and jump into what the actual program is. Okay, so we kind of went over who the instructors were, what TWC is, but now we want to address the question, how can you improve? So we're introducing the TWC IGP Helper Program. What do you get with the TWC IGP Helper Program? Instant 24/7 lifetime access through the TWC Academy. What does the program itself contain? The program contains over 60 years of expert knowledge between Ivan, Enrico, and Yanni. There's over 60 years of experience of knowledge at a world championship level, at a national championship level, at a club level, from the competitor side and from the helper side. You also get over 30 hours of training lessons. There are over 65 lessons in the program that you get access to over 30 hours. It's going to take you guys a good amount of time to get through all this stuff. There's so much there. I mean, just when I was going through and editing, there's so much. And the valuable thing that you guys will get over the people who attended the workshop in person is you guys get to pause and rewind, which you can't do in person. Because there's sometimes, especially being around high level people like Enrico, Yanni, and Ivan, when they say something, you're just like, that just blew my mind, but I can't even stop to reflect on it, because they're going to say something else that also is going to blow my mind. And this video and program is going to give you the opportunity to pause that stuff, think about it, and then be able to go on once you have a full understanding. The program has over 20 dogs in training, which is, again, super cool. You don't get to see a ton of stuff. Most of the time when you tune into some type of helper video, some type of helper program online, you're going to get 2 or 3 dogs. They show you, the phases, and then they kind of move on. Like I said, we had over 20 dogs. We had 4 or 5 different breeds between Malinois, Rottweiler, German Shepherd, Dutch Shepherd. There was a couple other ones I just can't remember off the top of my head. We had 16 training helpers. So there were 16 people who were there to learn helper work. On top of that, we had over 60 people in attendance. So between the training helpers, understanding where their learning abilities were, what their knowledge was, what their questions are, there's a ton of information there. But on top of that, you also have the spectators who were there that were also asking questions, that are also trying to find knowledge in the things that they were being taught. And one of the very cool things that happens when you have that many people, and we talk about this a lot in the TWC course, there are times where people are a little bit fearful to ask a question. And a lot of times the people who are scared to ask a question, it's very likely that someone else has that same question. When you have, 75 people at a workshop, the cool thing is most of the time, even if you're scared to ask the question, somebody else is going to ask that question, and you're going to get an answer from somebody who has accomplished things at a world championship level. So what does the program contain? Quite frankly, we believe that we're giving you guys lightning in a bottle. The pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. Willy Wonka's golden ticket. This program is the only program that's taught by a 2-time world champion, a 16-time IGP national championship, 40 years of experience in breeding, raising, training, and competing with world-class dogs, high-level teaching experience with the TWC certification program. Yanni, he's also a 2-time IGP vice world champion. He's been helper at many world championships, many national championships. He's an internationally recognized teaching helper. And that's one thing that's very cool, because there are some helpers around the world.
I gotta interrupt here because we keep forgetting to mention, but Yanni's dogs, his current dog and his previous dogs, have just blown the minds of everybody every time they do protection. And I'm sure all of you guys that are on the call here, I don't know why we're trying to convince you so hard, or we look like we are, but I'm sure you have seen these amazing performances and consistency that Yanni makes, and it's like I just can't help but mention it.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I've been lucky enough, obviously, to see Yanni in person train and compete and teach and all those things. So I completely agree with what Yanni's saying. But Yanni also is internationally recognized teaching helper, which, again, what I was going to say is there are a lot of helpers that are world championship level helpers that are not necessarily willing to teach the younger trainers, willing to have a program where they teach up and coming helpers. They are more concerned with doing their thing and doing workshops and teaching dogs and whatever. But Yanni has proven himself to be a once again high level teacher of other helpers. Enrico, up and coming national and international trial helper. I believe he just did the VDH national championship in Germany. He's nationally recognized teaching helper in Germany. He's a helper trusted by world championship level competitors. That's Ivan, Natalia, Marcus Neutz, a lot of people in Germany that I personally don't know about, but I'm sure are big names, and Yanni Bum. So, again, Enrico, this is the only program that's going to contain 3 people at this level. So what do you get? You'll be given the tools to become a highly successful IGP helper. Not only that, you're going to be able to learn how to avoid the mistakes that most IGP helpers make. One last thing. There's going to be people out there who say, I have no interest in becoming an IGP helper. This program is an absolute masterclass in understanding the protection phase of IGP. You're going to understand it from the helper's perspective, from the handler's perspective, and from the dog's perspective. And really, the actual last thing, probably not the last thing, people who say, I'm a pet trainer, I don't even do IGP. They're going to say, I don't need this. Actually, pet trainers actually have the most to gain from this program. Like Ivan kind of mentioned, understanding how to read a dog is one of the most priceless skills that a dog trainer can have. Protection trainers are the best at understanding and utilizing this skill. Learning this skill from world-class trainers will exponentially improve your ability to handle difficult dogs. So now that we know who this program is for, I want to address the obvious question that I'm sure all of you guys have. What does this thing cost? So once again, I just kind of want to go over what the program is. So it's 24/7 lifetime access in the TWC Academy, over 30 hours of protection training content, over 60 years of expert world-class level knowledge, over 20 dogs to observe across 5 different breeds, 16 student helpers showing you their successes and mistakes to avoid, world championship level training sessions. And most importantly, this program is going to help you become more skilled in your passion. So when we were kind of started talking about what the program is, the amount of information that gets shared, the amount of things that kind of happen during that week, the first thing that we kind of talked about is, what does our certification program cost? So our certification program, for some of you guys that don't know, our certification program costs $12,000. So we thought, should we price it at $12,000 for the IGP helper program? No. Our goal is to improve IGP helper training across the world. So the question that we wanted to answer is, how can we teach more helpers? So we thought, make it half the price. We'll make it $6,000. But that's still going to limit a lot of you guys, especially around the world. So it's not going to be $6,000. So then I just kind of started to think and said, okay, why don't we make it the exact same price that we had the actual helper workshop? We'll make it $1,500 for the program. Even then, we thought that that's not going to be low enough for people who want to learn around the world. So it's not going to be $1,500. So after a lot of discussion, after kind of talking about what the program is, what it has to offer, we finally came to the decision of what it's going to cost. So we're going to be offering this program for $997. But because you guys came to the call today, we want to give you guys one opportunity to get this at an even cheaper price. It's not going to be $997. It's going to be $497 for a very limited time, from right after this call until tomorrow at midnight. So $497 for everybody who came on this call. You're going to get an email with the link to be able to purchase it, and you'll be able to do that until tomorrow. It'll be available.
I'm going to be the first. I hope I can take it too.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's like paying for one seminar or 3 sessions with a quality work, and that's it. And yeah, wow, I'm getting.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's going to be available immediately after this call. You guys are going to get an email letting you guys know all the details. But I do have one more thing to share with you guys. A lot of you guys out there might be asking yourself the question, okay, if I watch this video, am I going to become a better helper? The answer is yes, but am I going to have all my questions answered? You're going to have a lot of your questions answered, but what if you still have questions? What if you need guidance? So for those of you out there who are wanting a little bit more, it's our pleasure to introduce to you guys the TWC IGP Helper Academy. In collaboration with Yanni Bohm and Enrico Schwaderer, we're going to create an online community of passionate IGP trainers and helpers. It is our goal to build the future of IGP dog sport. So what is this program? With this program, you're going to get access to the private TWC IGP Helper Academy Facebook page. You're going to get one monthly Zoom call with either Yanni, Ivan, or Enrico. Every single month, there's going to be at least one Zoom call where they're going to be discussing whatever topic they're interested in, whatever questions you guys might have. It's going to be up to them what they want to discuss, but they're going to be doing one monthly Zoom call. There's going to be access to unreleased workshop videos and protection lessons. So one very, very interesting thing that happens, and what many of you guys, and Yanni kind of talked about it, anytime that we do a workshop here at TWC, we have cameras running the entire time. And one very, very cool thing is there is an entire helper workshop from 2021 that never has been seen by anyone besides us. So our goal is to share all of that footage with this program. So along with everything else, you're also going to get advanced access to future TWC helper workshops. So for those of you guys who enrolled in the previous one, you guys know how quickly it sold out. You guys know how quickly those working spots kind of filled up. So you guys, if you're part of this academy, you're going to be able to get advanced access. So just to recap, you're going to get access to the private TWC Helper Academy Facebook page, one monthly Zoom call with Yanni, Ivan, or Enrico, access to unreleased workshop videos and protection lessons, and advanced access to future TWC helper workshops. This is going to come at a price of $99 a month. Unless you're on this call. For everybody who is on this call, if you make the purchase of the helper program, you're going to get the price of $49 a month. When you make the purchase, it's going to give you an upgrade to be able to sign up for the TWC IGP Helper Academy. And you guys will be able to join, and you're going to get all that stuff. The access to the unreleased videos, the one monthly Zoom call, the access to the private Facebook page, access to the future workshops. That's going to be $49 a month for a very limited time, and you only get that opportunity if you purchase the IGP Helper program. It's available now. If you guys want to scan this or go to bit.ly/TWC helper, you can go and purchase it now. So that is the announcement that we had for everyone today. We're presenting the IGP Helper program, which is a collection of the videos of the workshop that we filmed. And we are super, super excited to launch the Helper Academy that's going to be able to give you guys continued access and continued guidance with people like Ivan, with Yanni, and with Enrico. So, Yanni, kind of any final thoughts now that we have announced the workshop or the videos?
Man, we don't even have a time with like a talk. Like there is a lot of thoughts. I would just say I am so fucking impressed. Like I have to go and broke the wallet and put there all of my money in, all in, fucking all in. And so exciting. Um, I wish I wish to be beginner 100%. I will go through of this, as I already said many times. But about those webinars, about those online program on the Facebook page, I mean, I'm very, very exciting of that. I have a kind of experience already from the past with mines. So I think this will be very value and very good education for you. Like one thing we haven't been saying in one word, and that's like we always, but I mean all of us, we always train you guys without any hiding, absolutely without hiding. So all of you going to ask, I gonna just direct and honestly answer. So you can be looking forward for that, and I'm looking forward for all of you over there. So see ya, all of you there.
Yeah, very cool. So, real quick, someone mentioned that they tried the link and it didn't work. Make sure that you are using the right cases for the letters. So, in order to, if you're going to type it in, you can either scan it. I'll put it up again on the screen. You can either scan the screen with your phone or to purchase it that way, or you can go to bit.ly/TWC helper. So the letters that are uppercase have to stay uppercase in order to get to the link. So uppercase T, uppercase W, uppercase C, uppercase H, and then the rest are lowercase for helper. So TWC helper. So again, it's available now. You can scan and the screen that's currently in front of you, or you can go to bit.ly/TWC helper, all case sensitive. So make sure that you're typing that in. But we're definitely super excited for you guys to take a look at this program. Excited to get feedback, but we're definitely super excited to launch the online academy as well, because I know that that's going to be a big thing that a lot of people have been waiting for. So, Ivan, do you have any kind of final thoughts on the on everything that we kind of talked about today?
Looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be just a mutual cool experience. It's not gonna be one-sided. We're definitely not doing this to get rich, bro. Like all three of us. That's that's all we do, really. Besides whatever else in life that throws at us, like ultimately, that's our passion. So it would be cool to have more people join us and evolve. That's really the most rewarding thing for all of us. So let's start doing something really cool, guys.
Yeah, very, very cool. And Enrico, any final thoughts from you now that we announced everything?
Yeah, I mean, most of you, like, I'm not the big talking guy, but I think it's just like take the chance. I think there's not much to like comparable to this. Just take it and just learn from it and yeah, enjoy. I mean, we all do it, like Ivan mentioned, because we love it. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, very cool. Okay. So real quick, again, we're gonna jump on. I'm gonna show the screen for anybody who is interested. You can go to bit.ly/TWC helper. Make sure you type it in all case sensitive, or you can scan the barcode on the screen. So I know that some of you guys might have questions. This call is not necessarily meant to be a Q&A of any type. I definitely want to respect everyone's time. We just mainly wanted to announce the program. But if you guys have any questions regarding anything related to the program, whether it's the course or payment or anything like that, feel free to email me directly. That's Eric, ERICK, at trainingwithoutconflict.com, and I will happily answer any of your questions. Super excited to launch this course. Super excited to see what you guys think. Can't wait to get your guys' feedback. I want to thank Yanni. I want to thank Ivan. I want to thank Enrico for being on the call today. Ivan, I see you unmuted. Do you want to say something before we end?
Yeah, just I just kind of, I know there is a lot of questions coming up, and I know it's just not the right place because that's not what the call is about. However, it's exciting that there are questions, and this is what the whole idea is about, to be able to answer all these questions when we have the next calls and the next in-person kind of events. Of course, a lot of it's going to be online because with today's technology, like evaluating and critiquing videos and giving homeworks and stuff like that, it goes long way. But for sure, we are planning. Don't get fooled. Like, we are doing live events. Like, even if it's just for the Enrico, Yanni, and me, for our pure enjoyment, but we are for sure doing this again and again. Like, we're not stopping. So that's kind of all I wanted to mention.
Yeah. This definitely is not going to prevent us from doing any future in-person workshops. This actually is going to enhance any future workshops, because the very cool thing that will happen is anybody who comes to future in-person workshops is going to be able to have all this knowledge to start out with, and you guys will actually be able to start every workshop at a much more advanced level. So very, very cool. Yanni, anything to say before we finish up? Yanni with the heart hands. All right. Thank you guys. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, Eric at trainingwithoutconflict.com, ERICK at trainingwithoutconflict.com. I'll put this up on the screen one more time. If you want to scan this, or you can go to bit.ly/TWC helper and you can purchase the program. If you have any questions, if you have any issues, feel free. Eric at trainingwithoutconflict.com, ERICK at trainingwithoutconflict.com. That's about it.